All right, welcome back. I wanted to go over how to make decisions like with if statements in C++, and also how to get someone to type their variables into the computer. Okay, so I'm going to do an example like I always do where I say enter your age. Enter your age. Now, I need to make a variable that the person can type that into. So I'll make it an integer. It could also be a float, it doesn't matter, and I'll just call it age. And I want the person to type it in, and the command, this is spelled or pronounced C out in C++, so the command to get someone to type something in is C in. Smart. And it's actually the double arrows in the opposite direction. And then you type in the name of the variable you want them to type in. You don't type in like end line or anything like that. That'll crash. Cin's job is not to put anything on the screen, so it gives you a 500 line error for that. Thank you, C++. Just write CIN age. If you run this, you'll see that it's going to prompt someone to type it in by that little flashing cursor. And you could actually type in anything you want, even letters, and C++ is okay with that. It will change them to numbers in unexpected ways, but that's fine. Okay, so now this is saved into the computer. I could actually look at it too in the memory, which is nice. If I just pick a line I want to stop my code on, I'm going to stop it on line 15 and hit the red play button. You will see that your program will run. It will ask for your age, so I'll type in 15, and if I hit enter, it actually stops my program here. You don't need to do that. I do it a lot when I'm trying to fix someone's code and I can't figure out what's going on. If I click this is all the debug information. If I click watches, I can actually see my variable in there and see that it's 15. So that could be actually really handy sometimes if you can't really figure out what's going on. Anyways, I've typed in their age, but I haven't really done anything with it, right? So a computer's job when you're coding is always to get input, right? We've done that. Store that input somewhere. We've done that. And then do something to that input and then spit it back out again. So how am I going to check to see? Let's say I want to check if you're over 16. Okay, so I'll say if. I just write the words if, and then in round brackets I write if age is greater than 16. Okay, and then I write these um, brace brackets, the same ones you have here. Okay, and then any code I put in here will run only if the age is greater than 16. So I'm going to write something like you're old. Okay, and I'll run that. It's exactly the same way Scratch would do it. If I hit 15, it doesn't do anything because this condition was not met. Okay, but if I type in like 19, it writes you're old. Cool. Okay. What if I want to write an else like in Scratch? Then I just write the word else and I write curly brackets afterwards, and that's the form that it uses. And then here I could write any code I want. I'll write you're young. Something boring, doesn't matter. Okay. And I'll type in, if I type in like 12, it says you're young. So that's how if statements work in C++. You could do them with floats and you can do them with strings too. Let's say I want to check if the person actually is 16 on the nose. Now this is an awkward thing about C++. If I write equals, it will probably run and not give me any errors. If I write 17, it writes you're old. If I write 12, it writes you're old. That's broken, right? It should have said you're young. The reason is when you're checking with an if statement, you actually need two equals. Two equals to check. If I write one equals, what it does is it actually makes age equal 16 even after I type it. Let me stop my program here and watch. So if I run my program and I type in, let's say 10, okay. See how it's set age to 16? It's because one equals always sets a variable. So if this can cause a lot of mistakes when you're coding that are hard to catch because a lot of people forget to add that extra equals in there. Okay, so that's how you check with ifs and elses. And then you just put your code in there. Okay. And later on in grade 11, we'll say, like, if the keyboard, has been pressed, then do this. And you get the idea, right? So I'm going to post a little lab on just some basic questions for you to try. I think it's called Turing Lab, but you can do it in C++. It's all the same kind of code. So try it out today, and keep handing in all your stuff. You're doing a good job with that. Thanks, and we'll talk soon.